Like, to watch it? I mean, I planned on watching it just to stay knowledgeable on what's going on. It's just, I mean, we can at least start it on stream, I guess, so I can get like a broad scope. This must be fucking foul. That's like the third person. Well, this is the guy that made the video, but even outside of him, there's like three other people that came in here, like Swag Kage, talking about it. This must have been like really awful shit. Jesus Christ. Let me see what the channel even is. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the content. Could Batman solve the Kira case? So chat was saying it's mainly like power scaling shit, so I see. Doing like what ifs and looking at like how certain characters would act in different situations or in different mediums. Gotcha. Alright. I'll at least start it here.
I'm snaking. I don't even know how I would snake any of them. How would I snake any of these people in question? Wasn't dishonest or lie or anything. Did you and Clyde fall out about Naruto vs. Ichigo? No, that's cringe. Stop being cringy. I'm not gonna lose a friend over like 7 years because of fucking anime. Like,
toilet.
you gotta get over that.
For what it's worth, people lose friends over much less than anime these days. People can't be friends with someone who has like a slight deviation in an opinion from them. It's fucking tragic. Anime, I feel like, would be the absolute #1 place you'd be losing friends.
Yeah, I don't lie to people. Like, I'm not like snaky. I'm very like, when it comes to my relationships with people, I always tell people like what I think and how I feel and all those things. I'm never like, if I don't like you, you can just like tell. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not snaky at all. That's very disingenuous to say. Especially people that have known me in public. You know me in the old Discord servers or anything. If I didn't like you, you would just know, bro. Like, it was just wildly apparent. So no, I never snaked anybody or anything like that. Sometimes things just don't work
Getting a
out.
feeling that's
You
not
know
the
what I mean?
truth.
For many different reasons. So we do need Clyde versus Swag, man.
Oh.
But I'm not close to Clyde anymore, so I can't instigate it.
Like, I would not have helped Clyde and Chuck make a career. I could have done everything I've done now without any of those losers. So,
Wow, what
that
a
podcast is not happening. That shit is not happening, bro. That shit is not happening.
This has been like 13 days. What a crazy falling out.
All I'm gonna say, bro, it's not me. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not me. I can show receipts for this shit. All I can say is that I tried. Nobody can blame it on me. I would be worried about anyone blaming on me if I didn't have the fucking evidence to back up that it's not me. I'm just saying, if it comes to like that, I have to prove it's who did what. I can just prove it wasn't me. Actually, hold on. Let me delete this community tab post because I'm not sure that shit is happening anymore. It would be a miracle if that podcast happens at this point.
He's a tier 1 Cheeto.
So, a lot of you have probably noticed by now that SethTheProgrammer and I do not collaborate on content, follow each other on any social media, stream together anymore, and whenever Naruto vs. Ichigo is brought up on my streams, I either avoid the topic, direct people to Seth, or hide people from my Twitch chat when they spam questions in regards to the project.
So I'm assuming this was a video they were making together, Naruto vs. Ichigo. Man, that feels like 2008 again. I had a channel dedicated to that kind of shit back in the day. Is that what it is? It's like a collaboration they were doing? Thanks to the resub bully beef. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it was so well animated too. Really? Oh, what a fucking shame. Is it out? Like, are there clips of it out? I'd be very curious to see the quality level. Oh, here, from 8 months ago. Thanks, Resub Cathedral and Keith. These are clips from the show so far. Spoilers if you haven't seen these. Bro, it is Naruto and Bleach. I think plenty of time has passed. So I'm assuming, did they hire someone to make this, or is one of them an animator? This is really impressive for a fan animation. Usually anime fan animations don't hit. This is really good. Who did this? Usually fan animations on YouTube that actually slap are like things like 40K. 40K always goes so hard on their fan animations. Or, oh god, what was the other one we were just talking about? Berserk. Though that one is like anime, but Berserk like transcends anime somehow. Fan animations on that go so crazy. What is the, we just talked about the other one. 40K and who was it? Omar the Goat, is that who made this? They're not even credited here. Unless I've missed it. Is it Prime Whisper in the resub bag end? Their name is Omar. Can you tell me their name? I'd actually like to look at more of their work. This is very impressive for like a YouTube fan anime. Well, even just aside from that, just in general, the quality on this for a fan animation is nuts. Like I said, usually they're not that great. This one looks pretty fucking amazing. I get his name is Omar, but like, what's his actual name so I can find his work? Oh, his name is literally just Omar on YouTube? Fuck. That's gonna be kind of hard to find. If I just type in Omar. Football cartoons, probably not. Just talk to Clyde. It shouldn't be that hard to find the animator. I don't know why they wouldn't be credited here. That's kind of crazy. Use of Grandissimo. Yeah, I guess. What's Clyde's Twitter? I guess I could just ask. Because I would like to see more of their work. Okay. That's right.
Well, for those of you unaware, Seth and I have not spoken in voice chat since January of 2022. You may be thinking to yourself, there seems to be a pretty common trend with Seth. Another one of his friends is now not associated with him. Well, this isn't the first time this has happened, or the second for that matter, when it comes to us too. But no one has really known about our association beyond just YouTube formality in public. All of the stuff in this video has been kept a secret, mostly because I thought he and I could just move on, do our YouTube stuff, and be adults. But just like every other time, where we've had drama like this, or he's deleted or blocked me, or cut me off for any random
Let me take a peek. Oh, I went forward, not back. What is happening in this? I feel betrayed by you, no sympathy, trash tier friend, trash over an anxiety attack? Is that what that is? That what that is? Maybe I should get on my knees and lick your asshole. Come on, bro. What the fuck? I mean, yeah, and there is a huge gap here. What is this, 4 months? Oh, no, wait. That's not 4 months. Oh, it even says here. Okay, got it.
Cut me off for any random drop of the hat reason. He just can't stop himself from talking about me, my friends, or his own quote-unquote friends on his streams, his videos.
Deleted me because I didn't want to play Among Us. Oh.
Or anywhere else. And with the
Things
very
I'm
clear
struck
recent
in
spiral
Moth
of his
King,
mental health, which can be
recent
seen by
Bleezy
his
and
sporadic
Timbit.
tweets and the stuff that he says on his streams. Also the threats about doing something to the community, and then other little shots here and there that he pops at me on stream all the time. My hand has been forced. Trust me when I say I did not want to have to make this video. Along with that though, there are channels popping up spreading drama about Seth that I wasn't even aware of. And I have a suspicion that he is going to attempt to throw me under the bus to avoid any criticism for his handling of the Naruto vs Ichigo project, which I will get into in this video. I'm going to get very in-depth about that because you guys deserve to know the truth in regards to that project. I've known Seth since November of 2016. I initially reached out to him after watching some YouTube videos on how to grow your YouTube channel, and the best method suggested was to make friends with creators of the same style of content and to try and have sort of a community to help each other thrive. You've no doubt seen countless YouTube circles that bounce off one another like this, and this in turn did actually happen because I reached out to Seth on Twitter. He replied to me, we started talking through DM, and in truth, I actually enjoyed his content. And a few months before this, I had met SwagKage,
Makes it
whom
get
I connected
flat.
with Seth, and then the next thing you know, we had our community, where we'd collaborate, and we were all pretty much known as the main three, with
Prime
Chuck
Leonardo.
being Seth's old friend, that covered Dragon Ball, and would make debunk-related content with him. Now, I want to preface before I get into this video that, although SwagKage and I haven't really talked very much in the past 2 years, or collabed, this has been mostly due to Seth's manipulation of Swag behind the scenes. Ever since he and I had drama in 2018, that's Seth I'm talking about, he wanted me to be as far away from SwagKage as possible, because he knew that if I could talk to Swag, that I could show him what was going on behind the scenes. What Seth did was try to instigate debates with us all the time, lie when I was not in call with them, and
There's a
various
tier 1
other
Swedish in
bad
the resub
things
Rubian.
which has taken place over the course of the past few years. So for those of you who are curious why I don't collab with Swag, well, there's your answer. Now, I'm going to show SwagKage something here in this video that's definitely going to get his attention. To say that I've been cooking in the past year would be a very big understatement.
He hurt me so bad. He fucked me up. He asked if I was on the spectrum.
Oh my
Which
god.
shit, I might be, but he's like, this is a serious question, are you on the spectrum? And
Yikes.
I said,
Jesus.
what the f*** is that? Like, I was crying at the time, but like, I'm glad we weren't calling. It was just through text. And God, what else? He said that I was awful, and it was just horrible.
Yeah, the
He said
typing
I was
is...
disgusting.
Yeah, the typing... that you should have waited till after talking to her. The typing is really distracting. But that is pretty fucking odd. He's taking notes. Yeah. Yeah, still though. Probably should have waited on that. Hold on. Quick text message of my own. These are the 10 gift subs extendo. Appreciate it, man.
I'm really. I am genuinely I'm genuinely with all my heart. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault. I did not deserve that. I did not deserve
Thanks,
that.
Yusuf Eddie.
And I blocked him. Rightfully so. I blocked him. I was like, "F you. I'm out."
Now, to give you guys some context as to how serious this situation could potentially be, well, Seth is the type who would willingly slander Swag Kage or I, and anything we've told him in private, he would instantly tell the public about. It's just within his character to act this way. He will go so far to lie, and has even done so about things as serious as false rape allegations. You also may not know this, but Swag at the time was also worried, and he probably is now, because Seth had been secretly recording their private calls over the course of the months and years they knew each other, and has no doubt done so to me many a times without my knowledge or consent. I'm actually curious to see, after this video, what kind of weird stuff he has been recording, especially the out-of-context stuff that he's no doubt going to share.
Did anything happen? Is there any previous acts that started all this? I'm as blind on the subject as you can be. As I understand it, Clyde and Seth were collaborating on a highly anticipated project of Naruto vs. Ichigo. And I guess people were wondering what's going on with that, and then shit talking kept happening. I'm like on Seth's streams about it, and then I guess eventually all of it bubbling over with a ton of like other people coming out about their experience with Seth, which eventually led to this video explaining why they don't work together anymore, I think. I think that's what led up to this, I believe, is the context.
That being said, today I want to talk to you about something that many people have warned me against. I've heard about 5 different people I know tell me not to do this and to not risk it, as Seth's channel is too large and you'll just get bullied by his audience when he replies or twists the situation, which he will do, as I watched him do it right next to me during the satire stream, where he was accused of asking an underage girl for nudes, flirting with an underage boy, and it was insane to watch how easily people believed his lies because they only know the personality they see in his videos or streams. I'm not kidding, and I don't mean to say this in a humorous way, but for the longest time, it legitimately felt like Geen watching Aizen do some pretty fucked up shit. And the closer I got with Seth over the years, the more I started to question my own morals with supporting the stuff he was doing. The satire stuff, as an example, I only knew what I was told by him at the time, and I went onto that stream.
Is this for that stuff?
I only knew what I was...
Jesus Christ.
was told by him at the time, and I went onto that stream to defend him as any good friend would do. Which he has rarely done so for me in such a selfless way, apart from financial assistance. I kind of feel in retrospect that it was a bad idea to blindly support him, but you'll understand why I did more as you watch the video. The more that I've come to learn about the satire situation and other things, the more I've come to be more worried about his real self. I want to say this very clearly. If you follow Seth or I, and you enjoy our content and have a certain image of us that you think we're like in real life, please listen when I say, have an open mind and hear what I have to say. Do you think I would drop this video out of nowhere for absolutely no reason? If you are someone that's excited for Naruto vs. Ichigo, and you want to know the truth about that too, then make sure you listen to what I have to say in this entire video, because as most of you know, that project was a project that was initially involving us too. And it's quite wild because there's actually a lot of people that don't know I was the co-host of that project, because he would always try to take the credit for it. Well, to give you further insight on that, many of you don't know, but Seth secretly cancelled it on more than one occasion. And by doing so, he also scammed a lot of fans out of money too, and then lied about it on the stream.
He said, is Naruto vs. Ichigo canceled? If not, why is the Patreon page is gone? I already talked about this. What do you mean it's sus, bitch? I talked about this on stream 4 times. The f*** are you talking about, sus, you dumbass motherfucker? Anyone that watches my stream would know I've already talked about canceling it. What? I literally made a Patreon post for a month straight saying it was. What? That's pretty sus, man. Shut the f up. What are you talking? I wasn't hiding it.
What's with the, like, what would be sus anyway? Isn't it your like, weren't you paying for
right?
it?
Acting like I made money off of that, bruh. What the hell?
Well, you had a...
Y'all think I made money from that? What do you mean?
I'm confused. He had a Patreon for it, right? Wouldn't I mean, Patreon's not just like a chat board. You pay money to see that stuff, right? So, yeah, I think you would have made money on it. I'm a little confused there.
Sus, you dumbass. The f
Bro,
freeload.
this killed me. This killed me. Nick started a GoFundMe to do the animation themselves.
Yeah, like, nah, it's not gonna happen. If it has to happen again, it has to be paid for by me. There's no way.
Like, bro, they were asking for $127,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you random ass aren't getting that, bro.
Yeah, Simon.
Bro, this nigga, the dick eating is insane, bro. You see this nigga's comment? I told the people who batter, YouTube viewers don't batter, as if your entire career didn't come from YouTube viewers.
Bro, I don't look. I say that to your face. I hate y'all. I do. I hate you, and I've said it since day one. I call y'all for giving me money. I pack you on site. All we do is just talk each other. You hate me, I hate you. It's a mutual hate relationship. That's just how it is.
So
it's always been that way.
Thanks for the 20, my nigga.
I literally sit here call you my son. Look at Geets' dumb again. Coming in, $20. Oh, it's like clockwork. I don't give a
That's such a weird... I can't say I've ever seen it before. It's such a weird thing to do. That's not even like a flex or something cool. Like, oh, I don't care. That's... You're biting the hand that feeds you. Bro, you relied on Patreon. And you're point blank insulting them. Like, you're not like an e-girl pay piggy kind of thing. That's not gonna work. Half of your audience isn't like humiliation fetish people. They're weebs. That's just being fucking stupid. That's just being a dumb, stupid asshole to say that kind of shit. That's wild, actually. Just mask off. Fuck you guys. Wow. Thanks to the resub Octane and Ginger. He unironically calls them pay pigs. Oh, really? He has a weird perception of weebs. I've at least in every experience I've seen from weebs online, they're as far from pay pigs as possible. If they give you $1, they feel entitled to the fucking world. Like, God, who was it? I think it was one of those hentai commissions on Patreon, one of the really popular ones. There was a huge controversy because they delivered a less than amazing piece of hentai, and they're like, "We've been scammed! I pay $40 a month, and this is what I get." I feel like weebs are just not pay piggies. That is a bold strategy to just be saying that shit right to their face. These are tier 1 Barley, tier 1 Omni, and the 5 gift subs Octane. The gift sub Mitch. They still pay for it though? Well, up until they don't. What do you mean? He didn't deliver. And then he's insulting them. They'll just go to the million other anime channels. Exit Prime, Ilvium. Tier 1, Piglet. How well you know them? I don't. What do you... I'm just saying, from everything I've seen from, like, anime community, they're not really just like, oh yeah, just insult me right to my face, we're really forgiving. Oh, that's fine. Oh, geez, Rick. Oh, you hate me? They do not forgive and they do not forget on even the smallest issues. I've never got that impression from the anime community. I said I don't like JoJo's Part 3 and 4 as much as 1 and 2, and they never forgave me. And that wasn't even like that wasn't me calling them any kind of names. I just don't think, I do not think they are pay piggies that would be okay hearing this kind of shit from a guy they follow.
It's a lot of money geese. But
I love Geeks, but he's and I'll say that straight up.
Now, after this little stream clip where Seth is getting nervous at being questioned about what happened to
Thanks
the
to the bits,
project,
Cobalt.
Seth
Thanks
then
to
goes on
Vitamin.
to lie about how much the project actually made by claiming it only made $1,000.
How much is one guy's salary? The Patreon didn't even make as much as you think remotely. I think the Patreon was only like 1K.
Oh, no.
That's what I mean. The Patreon's only like 1K, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
That's nothing.
Yeah, it's really not that high. Like, people over-exaggerate, I think. And, like, dude, so not only was the Patreon, like, only, like, around 1K, but, like, there's, like, 10 people in my, like, Discord server that were, like, $100 donos. You know what I mean? So, like, those guys pretty much paid for the whole thing themselves on the Patreon, you know what I mean? So,
Bro.
yeah.
So in this screenshot here, where he's talking to me directly after we had advertised the Patreon, he confirms it made around $10,000, which directly goes against what he was saying, and if anyone's going to know the amount that the Patreon had, it's going to be us too, considering we were the ones working on the project. And I got some other stuff to show you guys, so enjoy these little recordings from two of the people who supported the project in the Patreon, who both donated over $2,000 themselves.
And then on stream, when he was like, oh yeah, the Patreon hardly got any
Thanks,
money,
Richard
I was like,
Cantaloupe.
bruh. Me, Billy, freaking Thomas Azrael White, like, we all put in a ton of money in this. Like,
How much?
You guys...
How much did you
Like,
contribute? Because you used to have a pretty frequent, like, you had a consistent job at that time, didn't you?
Can't you see how many
I
people are
was
subbed
working
on Patreon? Only if the person lets you. It's a thing you flick on, I'm pretty sure. You can have totally private Patreons. I think that's what Belfine used to do, right? So people could only speculate. So you could have just hit all of that.
Warehouse working like 90-hour weeks. I was busting my ass.
How much you believe you contributed altogether? Like, what did it accumulate to?
At least 2K?
Yeah, it's similar to what Billy donated by himself. It's funny because Seth claims that in total it made about $1,000. There's a screenshot I actually found where he verbatim states that within the first few months it made $10,000, which directly goes against what he said on stream.
Yeah. It's just like, you like went at it, and then when he said, yo, it didn't make any money, like, his next stream, I was in there calling him out, and I was like, yo, like, what the fuck? Why the fuck are you lying to your fans? Like, why are you being a rat? And he just never answered. I was like, this is...
Towards Naruto versus Ichigo, I didn't donate into Patreon because I quickly left the Patreon once I realized it was bullshit and you weren't actually getting anything.
Okay.
So I was just donating to him directly for the Naruto versus Ichigo project.
And what do you think that accumulated to?
Around $2,000 to $3,000. If I'm lowballing, $2,000.
Here's a screenshot of him saying that, as it stands right now, he doesn't even care. He's just going to make the project for money. But we're going to get more into that in the video because you guys need some context on this situation. The result of this video will be
What a
false dramas
fucking
spread
mess.
about me.
Jesus.
The larger audience aren't going to listen to me, regardless of the massive preponderance of evidence that I'm going to show in the video. Seth will no doubt lie about me and 100% try to come after me beyond just a YouTube response or a response on his Twitch. I will absolutely have people come after me that don't know the nuance of the situation, especially people that he has lied to. and so on and so forth. And blah, blah, blah. There's so many bad things that could come out of this. But here's the thing. Outside of YouTube, I have literally nothing to lose. So one thing I won't do is allow myself to be a scapegoat for this sociopathic rat fuck. I also implore anyone...
I like how Clyde bleeps every single bad word from everyone else except for himself. That's such a power move. You guys won't get to say it, but I'm gonna say it. Rat fuck. That's big.
Out there who has known Seth for many years, especially before this YouTube stuff, to make your voices heard and to share this video. I bet there's drama out there about Seth that hasn't seen the light of day because of how intimidated people are to expose him. Don't worry though, I'll do what everyone else is too scared to do or has failed at in the past. Believe me when I say, for a long time I did consider Seth one of my closest, if not my best friend, and I have many good memories of us, especially all the times we watched TV shows together, had streams together, made some fire-ass videos together, played games in private, spent times having some very deep conversations. There are many things that I can look back on and say those were good times with him, but sadly, you guys don't even know a smidgen of the bad shit that happened behind the scenes. I could actually tell that part of him did enjoy our dynamic together, but there was always something about him that made me very careful around him, especially with what I would tell him about myself. Even people from the Google Plus days that knew Seth a lot longer than I did, all warned me to be very careful with staying friends with him. This was a place that Seth had spent a lot of time in before the YouTube and Discord stuff really popped off. But I want to give you some context as to my situation before I became friends with Seth. During the end of 2016, I was living with my grandmother after moving out of a very abusive household, which I was in since around 5 years old. I witnessed violence almost every single day, drug use. I was abused myself so much to the point that when I would walk home from school, I would literally pray that it would be a normal day when I would get home. I couldn't even complete my schooling or go to university, which was an aspiration of mine. As I turned around 17, 18, I wanted to do journalism and that just fell through completely. It was so bad actually that I remember when I was around 18 years old that I literally cried because I wasn't able to be accepted into a single university because I didn't complete my high schooling. Obviously, I should have known at the time, but that's how important it was to me, and because of my home situation, I could never complete any schooling. I couldn't even pursue my initial inspirations of wanting to be in the AFL, which is the sport that we play in Australia. It's a very unique sport that we only play in our country, and I
actually know all about that one, to be fair. That's the Australian Football League. We watched a whole documentary on that a long time ago. The AFL is pretty fucking hype. Things in Prime 2 Loco, Sloim, Nep, and the resub Cantaloupe.
Childhood too. I even experienced my stepfather beating my mother countless times when I was younger, especially at times when I was too young to help. Trying to strangle her to death in her sleep, which I could actually hear from my bedroom while I'd be lying in bed petrified.
Jesus Christ.
And much, much more all around from the ages of 5 to 18, and I've rarely ever spoken about this on stream or in videos. In fact, not many people know anything about my childhood. They just think I'm an asshole that streams and talks to people and that I had an easy childhood, but it was, yeah, it couldn't be further from the truth. Maybe one day in the future I'll explain all this in a video, but just know that's just a small bit of it, and yeah, my life up to this point has not been a fun experience, that's for sure. From 2015 to December of 2016, I had a girlfriend that I would say was the closest thing that I had to family my entire life. Someone I legitimately would have died for if I had to at the time. It's cringe to say this, but I do want to lay out how important this person was to me because it's very pivotal to this story and how I met Seth and just that whole time period in general. I've been through some bad stuff and have lost a lot in life, but this legitimately destroyed me as a person for many years. No one had treated me like she did at the time, and at the time I took it for granted. Honestly, without giving myself an excuse, a lot of it was because of my past bad experiences, and I really did take it for granted. After a year with this individual, they had left me completely in around December of 2016, and this was a month into already being friends with Seth. Throughout this time period, Seth and I would have some pretty deep conversations, and it was good to have a friend at the time to talk to that actually listened. Seth honestly didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. I already knew the scope of the situation, and that's what made me even more depressed. But I did appreciate having him to talk to about this stuff. That's what mattered to me. That being said, my mental health and my physical health became really bad. Almost everything about me started to go downhill, as if my body was in this weak, dying state because I was that depressed. I wrote 3-page suicide notes. I researched the easiest way to essentially commit toaster and bath, and I even bought medication specifically to overdose on. At the time too, I also kept messing up quite a lot because I had a undiagnosed case of anxiety, which I then got diagnosed thanks to seeing a doctor and some psychologists. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't even get proper employment because I probably would have looked like a crazy person while working at the job. Losing this person put into perspective that I honestly didn't know what I had at the time, and it made me feel even more awful because the more I started to sit there and stew over how she was.
Well, at
gone,
least Seth
the
was
more
there.
that my life just
He
was
turned
worse
out to be
and
a
worse.
great
I was
guy.
pretty much isolated to online life and doing nothing but just talking about which fictional drawing punches the other one harder in the face. This was an aspiration of mine to make these YouTube videos, but I can't lie and say that I wasn't having a bad time because this should have been some of the best years of my life when I was doing these collaborations, you know, with Swag and Seth and everybody. And
Thanks for sub Snappy and the sub Rod.
if you actually listen to a lot of the tonality of my very older videos from like 2017 or even some of the ones from 2016 that you may hear at the end of the year, you can hear a very distinct difference in my voice. I don't sound very good. It was actually 2 times at the end of 2016 where I almost drank myself to death, and this was actually the goal of mine. I was trying to do it.
I was one of the patrons of the... So you were one of the people that gave to this? I was one of the patrons of the project, gave 200 plus myself. Always had an edgy sense of humor, and the shit he would say was wild. But he canceled it, right? Was there a reason for the cancellation, or just I canceled it because... There was no reason, and he didn't refund anybody. Jesus Christ.
Which resulted
What
in
a
me
mess.
waking up at a beach standing up. That's how blackout drunk I was the night before. I came back to reality pretty much standing up there, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Where am I? Like I was that drunk that I was standing on a footpath near this beach called Eastern Beach, and I'm looking across, and I pull my phone out, and I'm trying to order an Uber, and I'm waiting for this Uber to come, and I'm still so drunk that it hasn't even been ordered. That's how out of it I was, and then I pretty much had what I assume was alcohol poisoning for multiple days afterwards. Like I said before, there's actually probably videos out there from around like the end of 2016 to the start of 2017 where I like on a whim uploaded some very depressing videos where I didn't have anyone to speak to, so I recorded a video and talked about my situation, which it's kind of sad that people might use something like that against me, but it's whatever, they exist, and it's a silly thing that I did at the time because that's how down I was. So there you go.
That's the internet age for you.
As pathetic as it sounds, being left by this girl and knowing that I was replaced pretty much destroyed my self-confidence.
Emotional
and my
posting,
mental
that's what
health.
Twitter's built on.
I didn't have anything at the time except a 3,000 subscriber YouTube channel, and I was someone that already had a lot of mental baggage because of my very violent childhood. To give you guys some more context too, I actually grew up with a schizophrenic mother and an abusive stepfather who had spent around 12 years in jail before he met my mother, so he himself was pretty mentally off too.
Jesus.
And they were both not only chain smokers but alcoholics who would literally drink, and I'm not even kidding, an entire boxed wine satchel to themselves per day. And yeah,
Well, that's
when I was
Australian
around 3 years
culture,
old,
though.
My father killed himself in our backyard by hanging himself off of a tree.
Holy fuck.
As it stands right now, as I record this video,
Jesus.
I live alone, and I don't really have anyone to talk to from my family. I haven't actually spent Christmas with anyone for the past 5 years, and my birthdays have pretty much all been on stream with you guys. When 2017 rolled on in, I collabed with Seth and Swag a lot, and I developed anxiety disorder really hard. It was so bad that I used to get paranoid that I actually sounded crazy in these collaboration videos. Pretty much I'd be recording with Swag and Seth, or Chuck if we ever collab with Chuck, and I'd be, sitting there, and I'd say my sentence, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, did I sound okay? Like, I had so much self-doubt in myself because of this development of anxiety disorder, which I didn't actually know what it was at the time, and if you guys deal with anxiety, you'll know that it's f***ing horrible. I'd rather be depressed till the day I die than deal with anxiety, if I had to choose one or the other, because anxiety is scary. I used to be in bed, freaking out to the point where I'd be scared to go to sleep each night. I wouldn't even want to go to bed because I didn't want to lie in bed and be so scared of my own self freaking out for no reason. That's how not only stressed I was, but how much in pain I was mentally. I was also at the time suffering pretty heavily from something called sleep apnea for many years, and I didn't even know I actually had this, but it was making my mental health way
Most people don't know
worse.
they have sleep apnea.
For those of you who don't know, essentially means that your tongue and your throat blocks your airway when you sleep, so you snore so intensely that you suffocate for seconds, and this pretty much leads to brain damage, excessive tiredness, and can cause things like strokes, heart attacks, memory loss, blood pressure problems. My anxiety and mental health was being amplified by this, and I had no idea. I just thought, man, I just have this really bad habit of waking up with headaches all the damn time. Like, maybe it's a response from, you know, how much I look at screens all day, like I've got eye strain or something like that, and it's giving me headaches from staying up too late, but apparently it wasn't. It was actually because I've been dealing with this snoring problem since I was like maybe 15 to 17 years old, and I had no idea this whole time. The reason that I started to notice that this was definitely sleep apnea was because I actually woke up choking on my own saliva multiple times, and people who had heard me sleeping would say that if I slept on my back, they could hear me literally snoring like an old man, and it would pause for multiple seconds. Like, sometimes 10 seconds I would go without breathing and then snore and then go again. Mix this in with being suicidal because you pretty much have nothing, and it's the perfect recipe to be taken advantage of. For example, to explain a bit more about Seth, because so far it probably sounds like, wow, he's such a helpful good guy, he was there for you during the worst time in your life. Well, sometimes I would message Seth and ask if he'd want to call because, you know, I thought he was cool and I wanted to hang out with him at the time, and
Jesus!
Really well, and he'd just straight up call me a retard or tell me to shut up if I over-explain stuff in
fuck me.
swag.
Holy
I mean, here's him threatening to block me for literally defending myself against rudeness in calls. In fact, this is nothing like the stuff you're going to see further on in the video, because these characteristics were only small things too. Because as he opened up his Discord server that same year, he started to become so infatuated by the 24/7 ass kissing from his fan base that he allowed Chuck to be bullied so hard in his servers by strangers, and he pretty much laughed while this would happen. You guys may not know this because it's been so kept hush-hush, but Chuck actually left his servers multiple times. Not always by his own choice too, usually because he would get bullied out of them, and stopped collabing with Seth for a long time, which he tries his best to deny all responsibility on that, which is just to this day the most ridiculous thing ever, that he actually thinks he was in the right for that stuff. And then people started to call me Chuck's replacement because, well, I could deal with his bullshit, but people like Chuck and everyone else who could smell what was going on, they didn't want to be around it. Here's a blurred screenshot I have that Seth was actually planning to spread around to make Chuck look like a pedophile. I will never share the contents of this image, but I have access to it and various other things that he was going to use on other people to expose them. Now, Chuck has since apologized for some of the ways he treated me in the past, and I actually like Chuck. I'm going to say that right now. Chuck's developed as a human being and is an actual nice guy at his core. I don't really have anything bad to say about him.
Could Yusuke beat all of the Espada? Is that even a question?
Whatever he said in the past was just a product of the fact
that
he was expected
yes.
to act a certain way back then. I understand why. But let me show you guys something really f***ed up that I found on my PC.
He absolutely could. I fucking love Yusuke.
Seth definitely wouldn't want people to see. Back in 2017, when I was at my lowest point, both he and Seth laughed at a meme that they made showing the following. Yes, that's me in 2017. And here's a recording that I have of Chuck confirming that this thing is actually real, in case Seth tries to lie and say that this is fake or it's some kind of image that we all laughed at together, which is not the truth. Bro, I was thinking the other day, randomly, do you remember that image from like 2017 of me hanging off the tree? Do you remember that?
Oh my god, dude.
It came to mind because
don't remind me of that.
Yeah,
dude.
I know.
I was terrible.
It came up because I'm going through all these old selfies I had, and then I was like, what the f is this? And then I just remembered having that.
Oh, that's so dude.
Yeah.
I can't believe I did.
No,
I mean, Seth made it, but I sent it to you. Oh, that was terrible, dude.
No, I've no ill will towards you about that. It was just funny because it just randomly came to mind. And I was like, I wonder if Chuck remembers this, because I forgot completely.
Thanks to Resub Bose.
Oh my god.
Anyone from Seth's original SS debate group, which was essentially his moderator group on his Discord server, will attest that Chuck was thrown to the wolves, and I feel Chuck was mostly only hostile towards people in that server because Seth would try to set this high level of expectation that he needs to be a big debater, and even baited Chuck into multiple different unfavorable debates and would make fun of Chuck if he lost in front of strangers who he had only known.
So these are anime debates, right? When he says debate, they're not in there debating like Mr. Beast's new video or anything. I imagine it's all anime-based debates. Is that correct? Is that the community? Yeah, more or less. Okay. They debate more than anime? Oh, so is it just like general all-purpose debates then? It's such a weird... General debates obviously get super heated depending on topics. To get that fucking mad about anime though, assuming it's an anime-centric debate, always blows my mind. To feel so strongly about a power level that you'll completely cut someone off, kick somebody out, shit on somebody, go fucking hard on them, all over a difference in fictional character beliefs. That is wild. This power scaling stuff isn't sweet, buddy. True, I guess I may have been blind to just how cutthroat it is. To me, it just seems like it's more supposed to just be a funsy thing. Like, you know, I have a good example. Who was it? Was it me and Andrew? It might have been me and Andrew. I think we were talking about Dead Man Wonderland. We would like debate anime from time to time, but it was at the end of the day, it was always just fun and goofy, nerdy shit. Like I don't see why you'd get so crazy about it, like to defend something completely fictional and super subjective. There's no way of ever knowing which character is going to be better than another. I think it was Stan Lee that famously said the strongest character is always going to be the character the author wants to win at any given time, which is just super fucking true. Except for something like One Punch Man or like Superman, I guess, who are literally designed to never lose and be overpowered, but past that, it's all just supposed to be fun. Because whole life and personality based on anime? Well, it's not just anime. That concept is extended to everything. If you're a fan of something, you have to be the biggest fan of something and make it your whole personality. For a while, it was K-pop, for example. And that shit got so heated. I remember, who was it? Was it Blackpink? Their fan base became notorious for, like, reporting detractors to their workplace. I think was Blackpink, right? When they'd get into a heated argument, they'd find the person's place of work in order to report them. I think it was Blackpink. I could be getting that wrong. But yeah, that's just kind of the culture of fandom, where if you like something, you have to fucking obsess over it and fight for it. Which is wild.
For weeks to months. Alright, Parrot, so can you remember all the times that Seth tried to instigate myself into drama with people? I mean, we could talk about all the other people he's done it to, not just myself, but I know for a fact that you're aware he has he said some pretty bad shit about me behind the scenes to you and to others, and he purposefully wanted to get me into crap so he could cause me problems with, say, yourself or other debaters in the server.
Yeah. I mean, the most notable thing I remember is him specifically trying to start beef between me and you over, like, various Bleach things or the like KSI, like Logan Paul video me and him did, where he would come to me and talk about like how much you'd been, you know, talking bad about me behind my back and stuff, and I assume he was like saying similar stuff to you about me, and then we got in call and started talking about it, and it just was like nothing. Like you hadn't been talking shit. There was no beef whatsoever. It was really weird. He really wanted to manufacture this like argument or conflict between us, and to be honest, he's just sort of been like that about lots and lots of different people hanging around in that community.
Yeah,
I definitely remember him.
It's very I'll let you finish in a second, but it is very reminiscent of the 2 attempts he made with Noodles and Trini to debate me, but I ended up becoming friends with the both of them because they actually liked talking with me, which was kind of ironic.
Right. Yeah. And he had very weird things to say.
And this is all over debates?
To me in private at the time when you were sort of like helping him out with lots of like sponsorship stuff and like editing all his videos or whatever, and like, you know, very like, you'd think like you two would be very close, right? And you were like spending a lot of time together, but he would just like always talk about how he didn't trust you, or how he thought you were like trying to manipulate him, or that nothing he could say to you would be honest. And I think that was because that he was manipulating you. A lot of the stuff he was saying to you wasn't honest, and he was always hankering for like this drama and conflict. Which, you know, you were one of the people he was using to do that.
That's definitely for sure. Yeah, that's true. Around that time period, I remember this one time there was a guy called, his name was something Boo or something like that, and he posted something to do with the Naruto vs Ichigo project in the...
I would imagine if you're still watching, Seth, wouldn't you want to, like, defend yourself as opposed to play into it? Wouldn't, like, wouldn't that, like, when your neurons fire and make you want to defend yourself if it's not true? Because at the moment, it's still just allegations, but you're just leaning into it. He wants to play it off as satire and it being his character. I don't know about all that. That's a really awful idea. I'm more annoyed about the internet thing at the moment. No, hold on. Let me get the doc so I can at least get caught up on what all the allegations are. These are the prime burns. Where is it? No, I haven't started SpongeBob yet. I was going to in a minute. Cry about it? It doesn't affect me. The guy just looks like a dumb, weird asshole. Like I said, I didn't even know who the guy was. I was unfamiliar with his work. How does it affect me? And if anything, I'm trying to be his little, like, PR manager here. You retweeting a guy with a swastika saying a real one has fallen, and then saying can't handle my spiritual pressure in the face of allegations that involve pedophilia is so fucking weird. Like, what are you thinking? Yeah, his first tweet right now is retweeting a guy with a swastika. Most likely denial. It's not denial. This is a guy whose brain has been rotted by copious anime and thinks he's now the villain, which is a cool arc for him. But the tweet is just, a real one has fallen, and it's just a guy with a swastika saying, I will rape, kill, die for Seth. Hey, this is cringe. You still here, Seth? Why'd you offline? The internet went down in Tampa. The lengths people will go to defend Scum is wacky. His own fans are eating him alive. I haven't seen any defense. Granted, I haven't gone to his channel, but I don't think he's addressed it or anything yet, aside from his posts on Twitter, just leaning into all of it. And on all of that, he's getting mauled like piranhas. He's a tier 1 Hexon. Brother, you make anime debates, and it became your whole personality. And you somehow use that to be a big fucking asshole. And apparently a very sketchy person at the very least. I think you're wrong here. About what? The way he's responded to all of these allegations as being suboptimal, retweeting a fucking swastika talking about rape and killing for him. I'm wrong about that being a weird thing to do. Where was the doc? I can't find it. Is that it? Thanks. Oh, holy. Wow, wait, how long is this? 36 pages? Oh, good lord. Oh, I thought this was like a full breakdown of it. Oh man, alright, again, I don't know if I'm gonna go over the whole thing here, but I'll at least... I kind of want like a general breakdown before finishing the whole video. This is already such a bad start. Does not assert any legal claims aside from corrections on laws regarding age of consent mentioned by one of Seth's allies. If you immediately have to start going into the age of consent, something has already gone awry. Oof. My God. Oh, this must have been written quite a long time ago. You most likely know SethTheProgrammer, YouTuber with 738k subs. He has like 933 right now, right? 932. Well, it was 933 15 minutes ago. Oh my God, this even has in-source citations. What format is this? Not MLA. Is it 8? No, what's the other one? MLA and what was the other one? Holy shit. They formatted this. APA, thanks. That's the one I think uses in-note citation. This didn't work out very well. Make sure you live stream yourself sleeping. Naked or clothed? So fucking suave. That's the anime Chad. Naked would be preferred, but don't know how YouTube would react. Real question is, how would you react? Wrap a cloth around your willy. How would I? Probably watch the stream for a minute, then lose interest. Oh, it failed the Riz check. So apparently this person was 16 at the time, 2018, according to the document here. Again, these are still all allegations. But man, there are so many receipts for this guy. And his response to it is literally lean into it and just say like, yep, that's me. Crazy defense. So this is them proving that deleted user belongs to Seth's real Discord that he deleted. And it's the breakdown of that. Okay. Thanks to Prime Jackson, the resub Ghoul and Water Guy and Unicorn and Havoc. Did he delete his tweets or did he post them on an alt? Oh, you talking? It's on his alt. I already forgot what it was called. It's a fucking anime name. But no, they're still there. He better not delete them. I mean, own up to it. You did it. Like, you posted the tweets. No point in backing down. Toss how? Because he's asking for nudes. Is it Prime Believe? It's a screenshot of a chat, but then it says that her face is censored for privacy. So it looks like he actually did receive pictures. Into the bits fish in Roscoe in the resub. Fail. Yeah, no, it seems like it was a pretty big deal, Roscoe. They censored her profile pic. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's good then. I'm just over here peeping satires, pancake areolas, and y'all beefing. Wow. That's aggressive. Jesus. They're even calling it out as being child porn in his own server. If your sis get drunk, gimme your nudes. Whoa. Where would that rank on the power scaling, Seth? Somewhere in between Frieza and Cooler? Jesus Christ. Man, this is a pretty high effort Google Doc on the entire situation that seems like it's been worked on for many months. Good Lord. Well, wow. This is someone different. About wanting to fuck her, pound her, and fisting her. That's wild. Fisting, huh? What was this about? SethTheProgrammer is where it all stems from. It would have been nice if his response was anything besides what he's done so far. Because I'd like to hear his side of all this, because there are so many receipts, as well as the audio recordings in here. There's a fucking ton. Jesus. He already responded? Where? Like a full response? You know Seth is shitting himself. No, actually, he's loving it. Like his most recent 2 tweets, he's really enjoying it, I guess. Which is crazy. Man, what a sad situation. Nothing goofy about this. This shit is just sad. But what's wild is it all stems from anime debates. His response will be if his power level is high enough. Yeah, maybe. Thanks for the bits, Roscoe. He responded to these individual things back when they happened. Yeah, that was talked about in the video, right? He said it was him playing a character. It was satire. It was all just satirical. Not serious. Yeah, no, I'm talking about like this whole thing coming to light, like all of it. Because this is all within the last 5 hours that all of this came out. I guess in the public eye. Apparently his observation hockey wasn't strong enough to see this coming. Hey, I don't think he likes One Piece. I didn't see any One Piece on there. So he must have never even bothered. It's mainly Dragon Ball, Naruto, and Bleach. Oh, he's been reading it recently? Oh, nice. He's probably stuck on Skypiea like everybody else. That fucking arc is terrible. I'm still stuck on that. It's so boring. He's gonna say he's been under a genjutsu. I don't think he's gonna address it. And that's probably the right play. He clearly can't talk about it without being weird. So he'll probably just make, could Kratos beat Big Chungus in the next one and just pretend it's not happening? That'd probably be his best play. Oh, hey Gunner. Hope you had a good stream, man. Thanks for that. Hope you're doing well. And the Prime Kane and Bomb. And the Bits Jalosi. He's talking about it on stream. Oh, is he like actively streaming right now? Is he actually going to make a formal response as opposed to the 2 degenerate tweets he's just made? Because I would really like to hear his side of this whole thing. Why do we care? Oh, it just seems like a pretty not good dude. Tabernacle. So where are you seeing that he said he's going to, like, talk about it? Because it doesn't seem like he's streaming. Or at least he doesn't stream on YouTube or Twitch. Is he a Facebook live streamer? It was on his tweets. I just looked. There was no change there. Cause I'll wait till he makes like an actual response to it that isn't these 2 awful tweets. Get the full scope of everything. But it seems like oh, it's on his replies. Oh yeah, he said he just needs to find out how to go about it. It's such a complicated situation. Alright, I'll wait for the response then to go through the rest. Well, I'll go through the rest on my own, but I'll wait till he gives his side of this. It seems pretty rough, especially with his first 2 attempts on Twitter. Sad situation, though. Not much goofy about that. Oh, you're talking about Clyde. Oh, yeah, I know Clyde's streaming. No, I saw that. I thought chat was talking about Seth mentioning it on stream. If there's one good thing to come out of all of this, it's I found Omar's work, and his work's pretty impressive, so I definitely want to check out the rest of his reel. So this ended up highlighting a very talented animator. And Clyde seems like a good guy. He's a resub cub. Seth didn't treat Omar right. Well, that's what I noticed immediately. I had to ask Clyde who animated this because Seth couldn't be bothered to give credit to the fucking animator, which is crazy. In fact, he didn't give credit to Clyde either. He's not mentioned in here, which is wild. Seth might have been underage when this happened. Well, according to the document, and the document goes fucking deep, Citations 35 and 36 prove his age was at least like 20 at the time of some of it. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I'll wait for him to talk about it. Thanks, Resub Moon. No, I didn't. We're about, like, I think we went about 40 minutes in. The rest I'm going to just watch to get the rest. Where can we find Omar? What's his Twitter? It's Omar Spacebound. Spacebound Omar is his Twitter. That's the animator for that. 5G making him act up. Damn you, 5G. Done it again. Son of a bitch. Maybe Jay, I don't know, man. Overall, pretty messy. Pretty sad. Are we making accusations when we don't even know how old he is? If you look it up, it says 18. I was reading the document and they have citations talking about how they've proven his age is over, what was 20 at least when one of those occurred. You just looked up SethTheProgrammer and the first thing on like Wikitubia. It's not like your source is somehow better than the people that spent months researching and compiling all of the information. I would trust that over the Wikitubia first result. Not the one making accusations, you're talking shit out of your ass. What? I didn't say you were. What? Do people just hear things that they want to hear to stay combative? I said I wasn't the one making accusations, I was reading the document. And they made the citations to prove that his age was at least 20 in one of those. That he is not 18. What is happening? You're talking about him like he's guilty, are you dumb? What the... I can't believe I'm getting one guide so hard. I'm getting one guide into oblivion. I have literally said fucking 10 times now I'd like to hear his side of it, and I've called these allegations from the get-go. I've said there is a ton of receipts and a ton of evidence, it's going to be rough, and his first two responses, I shit you not, were retweeting a guy with a swastika saying that he would rape and kill for Seth, and saying that I can't handle his spiritual pressure, in response to all of these allegations, of which some of them are pedophile allegations, so I said it's a bad response. I can't believe I'm getting one guide by a fucking 13-year-old anime debater. Sometimes that one guy energy is too strong. That shit would be way off the power scale charts on SethTheProgrammer's lists. That'd be fucking plus Ultra Instinct. Jesus Christ. The one guy brain rot. Good lord. Yeah, I saw the Seth tweet. Again, he's just leaning into the whole thing. He's playing the cringe anime villain. Hopefully he has like an actual response to it, because I think that would be important to get the whole story as opposed to just one side. I don't know why, unless he's just saying it's all true or something, which is a crazy strategy. I don't know why he would continue to lean into it so hard. That doesn't really make sense. Seth's fans worship him on average? Where? I haven't seen any of that. I haven't seen a single person defend him. And he openly insults them to their face. That'd be really weird to fight that hard. Thanks, Resub Deegan. Yeah, I saw the retweet. Like I said, he's just leaning into the cringe anime persona. I mean, all power to him if he wants, I guess. I'm not his dad. He can make whatever bad decisions he wants with it. I would just really like to get the whole story as opposed to just one document about it. Thanks, Resub Slayer. They defended him in the replies of the tweet. You're talking about that one guy that posted a Red Dead 2 picture? That was hardly a defense. No, I'm not watching the Noodles video on stream tonight. I did see his was up though, and he was someone that Clyde was mentioning as well. That had a pretty close relationship with Seth. Just the first 30 seconds. Bro, that first 30 seconds must go fucking wild. Alright, just the first 30 seconds though. This is something I'm just gonna watch on my own though.
You know how I allegedly doxed him? By him publicly commenting with his real name on his Instagram under Clyde shit. Noodles might be interested in this as well. So I thought Parrot was in on the Cold War, so I was starting to dig up information on Parrot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let me just tell you, certain individual was able to give his full name right off the bat, and I was like, what the f? So I actually know Parrot's full name because of this individual. Like Define talking shit.
There are so many fucking voice clips of this guy being unbearably cringe. It's unreal. Does he just live in Discord voice chat? How could they possibly have so much of this guy fucking speaking and sounding such like an insufferable douchebag? Holy shit.
Just went out.
Define talking shit. You said it's not, so define it. You need to Google something colloquial, nigga?
Nobody out.
Do you need to Google something colloquial, nigga? You okay? Just define it.
I said, is Naruto vs. Ichigo canceled? If not, why is the Patreon page
Jesus.
gone? I already talked about this. What do you mean it's sus, bitch? I talked about this on stream 4 times.
This was in Clyde's video. Jesus Christ. Even if he's guilty of absolutely nothing else he's been accused of, he is on a criminal level of cringe. Holy shit. Yucky. Again, I'd like to hear his whole side on everything, though. So hopefully that comes out pretty soon. Good fucking lord. What a crazy rabbit hole. Just the tip of the iceberg. That's the crazy part. The first video was 2 hours and 46 minutes, and that was only 40 minutes worth of information. And an entire 36-page Google Doc with in-paper citations, as well as oodles of receipts. There's a lot, but maybe there's all a reasonable explanation for everything. So, we'll see when he decides to respond with more than just cringe anime villain shit on Twitter.